The podcast you are listening to of Holmberg's Morning Sickness is brought to you by my friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Trust me on this one. You've had barbecue before, but you haven't had it this good. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale, ericsfamilybbq.com.
When was the last time you had really good Texas-style barbecue? Eric's Family Barbecue, the way it's supposed to taste. Always delicious, never rushed, and prepared to perfection. Eric's Family Barbecue uses only 100% fresh meat, slowly smoked over mesquite wood until it's juicy and delicious. We all know their brisket is the best, but have you tried their pulled pork, pork ribs, or rib tips? Amazing, and their sides are all house-made. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Make the trip. You won't be sorry. Go to ericsfamilybbq.com for more information.
Holmberg's Morning Sickness.
Thank you. Quite kindly silence the voice. The winners of Playdio last. This year we have 29 entries already of the 30.
I actually think it's full. I think I need to double check my entries.
Okay.
But I haven't found the 30th yet. I thought there was 30.
All right. I do immediately see a band name I love, which is Dive Bar Nights with a K. That's
Brady?
a great name.
Not Sirloin of Dive.
Yeah, no, Sirloin of Dive
They're
Bar.
knighted.
That is great. Few I recognize.
There's only 3 repeats.
Bone Cookie, We Steal Copper.
And Adam's Fall has
Adam's
been in
Fall.
before.
All right.
Is there a band called Dude Juice on there?
No.
Damn it.
They didn't get to it fast enough. But there you go. The list is there. And, we call it Trip Reeves Playdio because he hates it so much. And we suggested yesterday that Trip come in and help judge it. And Trip said, unfortunately, and I wanted to come in on the air and talk about this, I'm not going to be in town because of it. Like you're leaving, he goes, and I'm like an idiot. I'll be in a different time zone listening, ruining my brunch. Because by the time it runs, it'll be like noon where he is.
That's right.
So, yeah, I'll listen to the garbage you put out. Yeah, go ahead. And then he said the N-word twice and left.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what happened, Brady. Yeah, that's the ticket.
See if Brett knows.
Trip made a very inappropriate joke with me yesterday. And you know what I did? I was like, you dick, that's hilarious. And I walked out of there. I'm like, that was a great joke. And it was at my expense, and I deserved it. And it was true, and I live with it, and I thought it was funny. It stung because it was a good one. It was a good one. You son of a... And I've taken, you might have noticed, a pot shot or two at the boss. Maybe on Fridays, that bottom right square says and does things that might be a little out of character. Well, that's the fun of it all. It was a good shot, and I laughed hysterically. And he took a couple shots at Larry, and then after we revived Larry and said, everything's okay. Everything's okay, little fella. He took shots at me because we work in a place where we're all kind of enjoying each other's company. Now,
he never takes shots at me, and I
never once, Brady, has he taken a swing at you. Round mound of R word. Ow. A Trip walks around with a plastic fake microphone and drops it when he leaves rooms. Late, drop the mic, because he usually just slaughters people. He's great, but it's a comfortable, joking work environment. Now, again, someday that may all change, and we have him dead to rights with our he said, she said. But somebody emailed me and said, "Dude, don't fool yourself. HR is designed to protect the company." You're absolutely right. The system is not perfect, but it's your only recourse. I personally disagree with me all day. Have a problem with somebody that has a problem. They're so afraid of HR, but they'll talk to ESPN. Like I'm so scared of the recourse that comes from this. But my God, if I can be on TV or my name gets out in this, I can be the hero. I understand in a real egregious situation where sexual harassment is run rampant and everybody's scared that you're going to get killed for it. These were just uncomfortable word situations. It's weird. It's a strange. We live in a very strange time. And a lot of people are like, the one complaint was he walked over with a score sheet and slammed it down in front of one of the assistant coaches and barked out some orders to the assistant coach in a very angry manner. Angry boss came down on an employee. And I think it was somebody named Kelly emailed and said, you'll never live in a world where aren't people you work with that just are afraid of authority, don't know how to handle authority, and great phrase, used the word default back into just being contentious. And their default button is, there's my boss, he's a jerk, because that's what all bosses are. And whenever he says anything bad to me, they feel powerless, so they fight back before there's a reason to fight. And you get angry at nothing, and you just don't know how to deal with bosses. You have an authority issue. And I think a lot of the times when a boss yells at somebody, especially in the world of toxic work environment, there are some people who just don't know how to deal with that. And they immediately turn into blithering morons that scream and yell that the workplace is awful because they were in the crosshairs of their boss once.
It's interesting how it's changed the culture of the service industry. As far as like in the past, like look how certain people treat waitresses. I mean, talk about
I've ended friendships.
Toxic.
I've ended friendships on how people treat waiters and waitresses.
Let alone hotels.
I've literally gone not
airlines.
If you are awful to a waiter or waitress, no matter how bad they are, and you're awful to them, we're never going to do. If you don't respect that you have a server that is maybe busy having a bad day, maybe just bad at their job, and you run them and act like they owe you. I can't stand people who are awful to the waitstaff. If a server's having a bad night and you're like, everything, we're cool. I'll let you use me as the table that takes longer so you can catch up.
If you've ever done that job, you'd never, ever treat him that way.
Everyone
no matter
should
what's
be required to wait tables for a month. Mm-hmm. Because when you do, you realize, oh, my sweet Jesus, how often people come in. And that's a character flaw beyond belief to me as somebody who's like, this waiter, he's not snapping your fingers to get them when they're doing something else. Oh, there's a certain mentality that goes with that drives me bananas. Yeah.
Let alone the tough one is if you're training that. Because to find, the people to understand it, how it works too. And all of a sudden, oh boy, they're not doing this. This is going to happen.
Oh, it's you got to treat the service industry like better than human. Oh, that's a tough gig. But yeah, employees and anybody who's like, oh, your boss can't do this and toxic work environment, that and all that other stuff, argue with me all you want. I just think if it's that toxic and you're willing to stick it out for 10 years, it really wasn't that toxic. If 10 years later you're like, yeah, he treated me kind of like garbage. You stick around for a decade and then you tell a reporter from ESPN how much you didn't like it there. You didn't have the balls to be a man and go up to the person that you're like, hey, I know you're my boss and this could end me. But you talk to me like that one more time, and we're just two men standing in front of each other. We're going to have a problem. Okay, you're fired. All right, I thought that might happen. But that's why HR is there. Maybe it is in favor of the employer more than the employee, but you're going nowhere unless you file paperwork. You know how hard it is for a manager to fire you? I mean, they have to have some stuff on you. Most of the time, for cause, they have to have papers on that. Multiple offenses.
Everybody says, "Well, this is a right to work state." They can.
It is, and you can drop somebody for no cause if you budgetary or whatever.
You end up kind of having problems on the other end if you've got an angry
Most
employee.
of the time, what they do is say, "We're firing you without cause. We're going to pay you for the rest of this period of time. If you sign this paper, you agree that there's no recourse here." And people sign it because you will sign for the money. Now, a lot of times they have you over a barrel in those situations. Like you don't have any money or you're living check to check. And you're like, I'm fired and I got to go 6 months without pay, or they're going to give you a nice severance package that keeps you quiet. It is hush money.
If you're over a barrel, doesn't that lead credence why you're getting fired?
Well, maybe. I don't know. You're personal. You could be a spender. You could be just bad with money. But if you're getting fired without cause, most of the time there's a paper that you sign at the end that says, I understand, I'm just being let go, and here's some money for that. You're being fired for cause. They have to have some paperwork on you. That's it. And it's hard for a boss to fire somebody for cause nowadays because you have to have a few things on the – and HR is there designed to help you. And they can't really fire you when you start having real grievances with them until you become an idiot. So it is a flawed system, but it's designed to help both sides, especially when you're like, I did filed paperwork. You're nothing without paperwork. That's just the way business works.
Performance and sales makes it a little easier.
Yeah, well, there's paperwork on that. There's black and white on that.
You're not producing.
They'll print it out and say, here's why you're fired.
Yeah.
You're zero production, and we have backup. We have papers on that. They can't just say you're not producing. And we go, let me see my papers. Well, we don't have any.
Right.
Yeah, of course they got to show that. If they're just fire you and say you're no good at your job. It's crazy. Now we get into what this show's really about.
Uh-oh.
Wow, this one's strange. Said, loved your morning show. Listen to North Carolina. I do it almost every day. Asked the guys at work. They're on 24-25 if they would go down on a homosexual and give fellatio for me.
What's going on in North Carolina?
Yeah.
Toxic.
Every one of them said they would. There's no way. Before $1 million, it was $1 billion, like $25 million or something like that. It's a private area nobody sees but you and a homosexual man. They lined up. So basically, going back to the point of everybody's got their price, Bert and I would both kill for $1 billion. I mean, Brady would barely denounce God.
Oh, I'm in on the killing.
Brady would maybe. All you got to do is think of like Vishnu and say there is no God. And then go back to your God. It's an easy out, Brady. There's loopholes.
Yeah.
Your religion is full of
constant
loopholes.
Free agent.
Yeah.
And just think about the donations you could make with $1 billion back to the church. You're doing it for a good cause at the end of the day.
Your penance would
Oh,
be
it'd
huge.
be great, though, to watch Brady try to struggle with that one. And by the way...
It would be. If someone came over here with $1 billion, I would really struggle.
Yeah. It's the unforgivable sin to say, I don't believe in God or Jesus, and I don't.
Yeah.
Unforgivable. It's in the book. It says you can't come back from it. So that's the only not loophole in the whole thing. They're pretty strict about that. When you come back from killing people...
It still resonates with me a little bit.
Brett and I could kill and then get forgiven.
No problem.
I'm out already on the whole. But you've already said it once. So
I'll buy my way back in.
We have it on tape somewhere where Brady denounced
Yeah,
the
you
Lord.
can do that in certain...
Yeah, with $1 billion, I'm back in.
I'll just start a new religion.
Yeah, there you go.
You know how easy that is?
Yeah.
Look at the Raelians.
Really? I don't even know what that is, but I'm sure it was
the
just...
one in San Diego, the sneaker cult.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah.
The Raelians?
I don't remember them. I remember the Nike people?
Yeah, they're all wearing Nikes, right?
Yep.
When they died in their bunk beds and all that kind of stuff, yeah.
They in bunk beds?
Yeah,
Wasn't that the Haley Bop?
Hale Bop.
No, Branch Davidians was the guy in Waco.
Yeah,
That was Waco.
Koresh.
Right. Okay.
That's
That
David
was
Koresh.
Seventh-day Adventist.
You remember that one because he started a church and named it after himself. Davidians are David Koresh. David,
Yes.
yeah, Davidians.
Yep.
Of course, Jim Jones.
Yeah, you can start your own. We're naming the ones that didn't end so great.
Scientology?
None of these are really good.
Mormonism?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. None of them are any good. Terrible religions, in fact, all the ones you named. And we forgot the big one, which is Christianity. I mean, that's the worst of the bunch. The Catholics, they're terrible. Well, that's Mormons' fault.
Created a lot of jobs, John.
It sure has.
Boy, has it.
For lawyers and police officers, investigators,
and a lot
private
of tax
eyes.
havens.
Yeah. A lot of jobs for accountants and cops and judges. They've done a great job. But for the right price, I think everybody's got a price. Yeah, you can say there's no God. It's easy for a boatload of money. And then somebody said, I was catching up on the podcast yesterday, and you had reviewed Brady's strokes from the other day. You forgot what they were called. Medical professional here. They're called transient ischemic attacks.
Oh, yeah, TIAs.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, TIAs. It's TIAs. That's right. My friend had one of those, and he lost his peripheral vision in his right eye.
They come back?
No, it's gone for good. You have a brief episode of neurological dysfunction resulting from an interruption of blood flow to the brain and or eyes, which is typically a precursor to a stroke. So best of luck, Bogan. Signed, the hospital.
If you ever get tunnel vision, let us know.
Yeah, people are like, hey, Brady, the hospital called. Good luck. Well, that's a toxic work environment for Brady.
Yeah.
Let's see it again. Is this a TIA? Was this a TIA?
Northport Point, Florida chief, the police of chief there, the chief of police.
Wow. All right.
100%.
I'm pretty sure that was
How
one.
long was that? 15 seconds?
Yep. And then this one is another one. Same report.
Exclusive scenes from Pulp Fiction. Fiction.
Sorry, I'm just going to go. Yeah, it was Brett had to break out his old lady fan.
Oh, Lord.
I got them vapors. This man's standing in front of my eyes. I got the vapor. Woo, somebody get him some lemonade. So that's what those are called, Brady, when you have them. Just go,
Won't you take me to Tia Town?
Having a tia.
So now you can have fun with that, now that we've got the medical term. Transient ischemic. Am I saying that right?
Would you say ischemia?
Ischemic transient ischemic attack, a TIA. The reason they're called TIAs is because you'll have a stroke trying to say what it really is.
Right. Another guy says, all
Best of
right,
luck, Brady.
We've established Brett will take $1 million to kill someone. How much for Brett to say the Olive Garden is the most authentic Italian food?
Yeah.
$1 billion to do that, too. No problem.
I'd be the
We all
biggest
got our
endorser.
price.
What would it cost?
Yeah, exactly.
What would it cost for you to only eat like Olive Garden. The only Italian food for the rest
$1 billion?
of life.
And
$1 billion.
$1 billion.
$1 billion is ridiculous.
Easy.
We're ridiculous numbers here.
$1 billion.
I would be
million. How about
look,
$1 million?
I would be a spokesman for Almond Joy for $1 billion. I would be the coconut
million?
salesman. I would climb palm trees and get coconuts and eat them right out of a tree.
For $1 million?
For $1 billion. For $1 million, that's ridiculous. They're
5
disgusting.
million.
Too low.
No,
$2 million?
$5 million is a lot of work. That's too much.
It's a lot of work.
I'm not climbing palm trees for $5 million.
okay.
I would say, I don't know if you have body strength. It's just ridiculous. It'd be too much work. You start getting into 10 to 20 millions, I'll start eating coconut regularly, like day to day. Like I would have died on Gilligan's Island the first weekend.
Yeah, there's a lot of coconut.
All they did was drink that milk
Coconut
and coconut
soup
cream pie,
and,
coconut soup. I would have eaten one of the Howls the first week because I'm like I need meat and I'm not eating this tree hair that you guys keep pulling out. Yeah, that's not happening. But you get into 15, 20, 25 million. I'm going to start eating coconut exclusively.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, Brady, for you, I don't know what the price would be, but all you can eat is heads of lettuce. That's it. For the rest of your life, a head of lettuce. You get it for lunch and you get it for dinner, and that is all. In the
It'd
morning,
be about the same.
In the morning, you get a vitamin. 20 million to just
25.
see that would be nothing. $25 million to just eat lettuce. We wouldn't take 10 million, 5 million.
No.
Because you like
Life
lettuce.
would be so boring.
Would it? You can't find any fun in life without like massive amounts of
Eating
food?
lettuce every day.
Why would that make life boring?
Because I've seen a turtle live. I'm
love
eating
turtles.
nothing but lettuce.
And you
love
film
turtles.
it and think
That's
it's
why I let
amazing.
'em-
You think it's amazing when you film a turtle, like they're living the life of the
I like
greatest
to
thing
give them
ever.
a variety.
Who?
The turtles.
What do you mean you give them a variety? You're sneaking food to somebody
Fruits.
else's turtles?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Why? You shouldn't do that.
Oh,
Feeding neighborhood extra food. Maybe they're on a strict diet. Maybe they get allergies.
lettuce would be brutal. Iceberg, you just have.
Yeah, no dressing either. You're off.
Oh,
Every morning, you can have some sort of vitamin protein shake, but you have a head of lettuce for lunch and a head of
25
lettuce.
million.
$25 million.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like a bad one to me because I like lettuce.
Yeah, I know, but for
Not
the rest
that
of your
much.
life,
Yeah,
Whatever.
No way.
no.
Not so bad. You got to make food less important.
What would I do with all that money if I'm not buying delicious steaks?
What would I do with all that downtime?
You just eat more lettuce. You just pile into lettuce. Hit it hard, man. I'll give you salt, and every fourth one you can have a quarter ounce of blue cheese.
Ooh.
Oh, man. Those would be heaven days.
Oh, man.
Now, do we get all the lettuces? Like kale, cabbage, every leafy...
I'll give you the greens.
Every leafy green?
I'll give you the greens.
Okay.
So you get the variety.
You get a variety of lettuces. Lettucei, lettucey. Yeah,
All right, that drops down to 20 million.
$5 million off. Boy, that lettuce thing sure is an awful quandary for Brady. I'd have to eat something I absolutely hate.
Now, what's the low number for all the meats?
Oh, yeah.
500
Meat
grand?
only?
You're vegetarian.
500
Get rid of
grand?
all the meat.
Oh,
Fish
to get rid of all the
all
meat.
of you're vegetarian. You're a vegan.
20 mil.
Same number.
20 million for that. See, I'd go like 4 or 5 to give up the meats. I love the meats, but for $4 or $5 million, it'd be. All right, I won't eat meat anymore.
But you're saying fish is good?
A new
and-
lifestyle.
No,
that
fish is out.
All
You're,
the
you're
meats.
vegan. No,
Yeah,
no
20
living
mil.
any. No
20
milk. No, yeah, you can't go any cheese.
You were going to subsist on fish?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to crush fish.
cheese and all that other stuff. It's out.
No shrimp, no shellfish, no...
You turn into Bubba Gump.
Minimum 20 mil.
All right, now we get into the Tony Delgado has a great question. So we quiz Brady on his moral barrier.
What's your price?
Please ask Brady what his price would be to blow a guy, just to hear him dodge it.
20 mil.
$20 million to blow a guy.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. I get to pick the guy.
Seems a little heavy.
Twinking for 20, huh?
And you get to pick the guy?
I have a feeling I know you well
Come
enough that
on.
if I had like $750,000 in cash, you'd do it. You picture that suitcase opening up and like, all I
I'd
have
like
to do.
think,
Is it
John, I
tax-free?
wouldn't do it.
Yeah, it's tax free.
Oh, okay.
Free, of course.
Gary, all you have to do for this suitcase of cash is suck my
20 million.
$750,000.
Deal.
I think you'd do it for less.
I don't think so.
I think you'd do it for dinner.
Wait a minute, we're going
Now, I know that ain't
we're
true.
going to Binkley's? Oh,
I'm in.
all right. What do I do for that?
You know what you have to do. Get on your knees like a champion.
All right.
Dinner for life.
Ooh,
Covered. Any restaurant you want to go.
man.
Not doing it.
No money in your pocket, but you never have to pay for food again.
Yeah. Not
You
doing
would
it.
do it. You would have 2 in your mouth, 3 in your hand. You'd be all over it.
You circle jerk.
You look like one of those seals that blows horns on TVs in the 60s. Be all over it, kid. Not doing it. He plays moral, but you get that suitcase in front of him. I've seen Brady chase a dude down
I'll
for
take the
$1.
double wide.
I've seen Brady chase people down for $1, like a miscue and a change.
That was $4 from
All
the
right,
homeless
either
guy.
way, it was a.
The homeless guy.
Oh, he chased
Did
a
he give you
homeless-
change back or something?
Well, he gave a guy $5 who told him a story, and we said,
Go buy a belt and for his
my
car.
daughter's in the hospital. I need a fan belt from him. Like, Brady, you just got scammed. You need that money back. It's the first time ever anybody's asked for a refund from a homeless. And Brady's like, you're right. I did. He went and chased this dude down and got his 4 out of the $5 back. And the homeless guy said, I only gave you 4. Like he won a battle and
He's
Brady
on
won
his
a battle.
phone.
Yeah, he's on his cell phone.
Got his grift circuit
He
going
went to
on.
the next parking lot. We're like, look, there he is right there. He's not going to the hospital with a fan belt.
Yeah.
And then Brady's like,
Guess your daughter got better. Give me my money back.
First he says, I don't have
no,
I
he's
spent it already.
Yeah, he's walking.
There's a wad of cash.
And Brady took the 5 back, but we only gave him 4 ones. So the homeless guy, he won a little battle, and Brady won a little battle. It was the best. Getting a refund from a homeless was fantastic. But that was for $4. Brady was willing to risk his life with a transient.
Oh, then you're blowing.
Then
for
you're
$7.50,
blowing
yeah.
for $7.50. You are, yeah. You're going to look like a Krispy Kreme 10 minutes later for just a sawbuck. I got no price. I think it's great fun. Bring it on, man. Good times. It was Pride Night at the Suns game last night.
Well, you fit right in then, huh?
Yeah, I thought it was
Wear
inappropriate.
your flag shirt?
No, they did give them away, and I actually liked them. They look kind of neat. It was Vince Marotta, the in-house voice of the Suns, I thought was inappropriate when he would say, welcome to Suns Arena. No, it's fans. Fans. You're saying, not tonight, it's not. Listen up. Here comes a dance team.
That's not okay on Pride Night?
No.
No?
Nope.
Okay.
And then he went on, and there was one time he said, Mikal Bridges from 1, 2, 3, homos. Like, what the? He's really, listen up, bitches. Saturday night's game against the Hawks. He tried to talk their language. That was inappropriate of Vince to do that. It's fans, Vince. But, yeah, nobody really took advantage of Pride Night. I thought there'd be a lot more man piles and rat kings of wieners and things like that. Nothing.
All male dance team?
Guys in front of us were holding hands. And basically all they did was have Suns rainbow flags that they waved around a lot. Like the Gorilla did it. And it wasn't really, I guess Pride Weekend was June, and now it's this weekend too.
Yeah.
Because they're having a big parade downtown.
Is that this weekend?
everybody's
Or
been asking
KB's
if you're
doing it.
going.
Well, I'm not. Again, the water's too deep.
KB's had a float, I believe, the last 2-3 years.
They do this year, too,
Yeah,
from what the promo staff
that's all
told
they
me.
talk about.
They said you're leading it.
I'm not. No, they're wrong.
Yeah, you're
And-
the Grand Marshal.
No, I get paid to do jobs. Like, if you want me to work, I'll do it. I'm not that big into the community. I'm still, look, even though I'm a homosexual now, I'm also still an isolationist. I don't necessarily want to go out and dance with everybody. Speaking of, Brandon Lee's leaving Channel 3.
What?
Yeah, we're leaving.
Big leagues?
Oh, no.
I don't know what he's doing, but he's not going to
going
be
to
there
big
anymore.
leagues.
So he's going to host this parade, I'm sure, on Saturday. Yeah, and that's really like, I've talked to my gay friends, and I'm like, do you go to that Pride parade? I'm like, ugh, rookie day. Like, that's all the people who are still excited about it and stuff. They don't want to go down there. They go down there. The single ones go down there because it's a meat market. You're going to meet other gays. It's like, you don't even have to ask. Everybody there is pretty gay. But last night at Suns game was Pride night, and I don't think nobody, everything was just rainbow. That's basically all they did. And I'm like, don't they have Pride season? Isn't the WNBA like basketball Pride? Like, that's the whole summer. Like, you're celebrating that. Pride night. I'm fine with it. But
What's
it was,
that, like 14 weeks worth
I expected
worth
more
of games?
porn, to be honest. I expected it to be sexier. It's not.
Speaking
Didn't
of
work
porn,
out.
No.
Somebody wants to know what your threshold is for not being able to watch porn ever again.
Not to ever watch it again?
Yep.
Ever again?
Ever again. You're 50.
Yeah, if you've got
You've
tons
watched
of...
a lot
I
of
got
it.
a lot in my mind. If you've got tons of money, you keep porn obsolete.
Yeah,
How
you just
so?
Blizzarian it.
You just Blizzarian.
Yeah.
You just get a household of porn live in person in your home.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
If it's in front of you, that's...
It's porn. You just keep the people around you that are porn addicts. They do it for you. If you have enough money. I could give up porn for $3 million.
that's
Two's
good-
cutting
that's
it
a
too
good
close,
line.
huh?
Two was good, but I can't retire on it. And
How
it's gonna be
about
lonely nights at 2.
how about the price going celibate?
Never,
have
ever,
Oh,
ever,
never
ever
again.
doing it. Never,
Yikes.
ever. But I can still tug.
No,
No, I have to
it's
just
nothing.
I'll
Can't do it.
explode. I'll get sick. The price for that, from here to the end of me, I got to put a menu together here. Price for no
Can we
more.
use machines? Can you? Is there's just no
Basically, you're
using
saying
your
no
willy
more.
at all?
So no flashlight
Yeah.
or anything like that.
And if it
become a unit.
accidentally
No
happens,
Flashlight. Are flashlights off the table? Brett's racing
Yes,
or
yes,
anything.
yes.
Can I stuff it between the mattresses or couch cushions?
no,
Man, oh man!
Wow.
So I just basically
tough.
have to hope for nocturnal emissions.
right.
I will-
gotta feel that they're going to increase.
I'll go. Geez, never again, or I have to give the money back. I'll say $5 million.
Well, you're only living to 65, so
That's
that's another
true.
15 years.
3.5. You're right. I only have a few years left. 3.5. 65's a push. That's really far
Is
off.
that a push?
Oh,
I thought
that's
you said
that.
65
No,
one time.
60's my gate where I think it's time
Wow.
to check out. I got no real desire to keep going. I got another 10 years, and I think I'm going to want to cash out.
All right, Bert, what's your price tag? You and Medea have a child of your own. And you have to And you have to live with it.
He was sipping
What's your
coffee.
price?
How dare you? Not only that, unlike Toledo's dad, you have to stick around.
oh, man.
Ugh. Price to have a baby. I may be getting
That's-
into Brady's denying God category with this one.
That's at least $20 million right
I'd
there.
fist fight
That's at
Jesus
least.
before I'd have a kid.
20 million, and I'd get $1 million for a live-in nanny.
That's what I'm, yeah. Yeah, 20 million. Yeah, 20 million because you can afford a nanny to not deal with that little
To
piece
raise
of
it for- yeah.
whatever.
Man, that is. Yeah, I'd
But she might need 20 million too because she's just as dead set against
Wow,
it
yeah.
as we are.
I would heel hook Christ himself before I'd ever have a kid. I'd hobble that son
Get
of
out
a.
of here, Christ.
Yeah, get out of here. Denounce him. I will MMA wrestle you to the ground, sir.
Someone wheeled up with 20 mil. You're saying no.
I'll fight Jesus before I would fight Jesus before I'd have a 20 million,
Yeah,
and all I have to do is have a baby.
have a baby and raise it.
You get a nanny.
Yeah,
You're
18
good.
years. 18 years, you're stuck.
I honestly
an
can say
18-year contract.
for the first time in my life, I'd rather be poor.
$20 million.
rather
You
support it.
hire a nanny, you build another house out back, and you never have to see the little.
Yeah, but then you've raised something that's going to try and kill you.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's true.
My dad will just use money. And you're on Dr. Phil, and the thing's taking swipes at you in your sleep.
The thing.
Ugh. I don't know how you people like those things. And I don't think you do. Deep down, every parent I talk to is like, I can't wait till they're out of the house. And so the ones that do have their kids move out, we're free now to do whatever we want. It's like, wow. You loved them, but you couldn't wait for them to get out of there. I'm just so proud of them now that they're on their own.
John, I like you. I would have a price. It's actually probably pretty low to go homosexual just once. But if I'm doing it, I'm going all in. Line up Julio Gomez because if I'm doing it, I want a video that's going to go viral, or I
I'm gonna
want to
be
be
famous
doing
for
it.
it.
Something like that. That is so effing metal, man.
Yeah, that is effing metal, pussies. That is effing metal. Your one-time experiences with Julio Gomez.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus, not that. Oh, yeah. That's fine. That is, it's the...
Julio on one side, Jonah Falcon on the other.
I would be miserable. I wouldn't know what to do with those. I only know how to handle what I've got.
Dude,
Like,
doing the ski slopes with them?
oh, man. I need the less retention bands. These are
One would
too
be like
heavy.
a caber toss.
Oh. You might as well just go out there and try to rub up and down on a phone pole for a half an hour. Yeah, well, there you go. Everybody's got a price. Disgusting humans. That's what I think. John, you have to worship a great mythical being in the sky and attend church once a week. How much? That would be easy. That would be easy. I'd do that one for a couple million. Nothing to it. Ha, 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 ha. Let's move on. And also with you. And also with you. And, yes, bless you as well. Blah, ha, 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 Sun Ghost, holy, holy. And then back to my
church
mansion.
football.
Back to my mansion. Yep. Blah, 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 ha, ha, ha. And also with you, Lamb of God. In him, be him, he, him, ha, ha, he, they. That's easy. I could do that in a second. For the right price. If you paid me enough weekly, I'd pop into church and go, ha, ha, ho, ha, ha. And also God's lambs.
That's why some people started their own church.
That's right.
I get them paid weekly.
That's right. You get paid weekly, and I can still get to watch Steelers at 11. That's great. Anyway, what are you going to do? It's a weird thing that we've gotten off on. But that's what we're saying, basically. How much would it be to work for Robert Sarver? His one quote was great, too. You all get paid a ton of money to put up with my BS. And he's right. He's talking to his executives who are like, this isn't fair. Shut up. I'm the king. Deal with it. And he is. Yeah, he's guilty of being a dickhead. And I think we all
If you don't want to be here, I don't want you
Man,
here.
that trap door is going to open on so many owners.
But
maybe they want him flushed, though. Maybe they do want to flush out. Because that's what they did to Donald Sterling in Clippertown.
Jerry Richardson.
Jerry Richardson did some illegal stuff and got but the league wanted him out. Donald Sterling was the worst owner in all sports when he was the Clippers owner. And a guy brought up a good point on the email. He said how they hung him was illegal. California is a two-party state with recording. Everybody has to know, not just one. And so they got him on a recording he didn't know was being recorded, which isn't legal. But again, die was cast. The NBA did what they were supposed to do, and we got to get this out of here. This Clippers team is too valuable to have him run it into the earth.
Yep.
And they got better owners, and look what's happened since. They've been a competitive
His wife will do much better with that team.
Yeah, well, she did the right thing by just letting other people do it. Here,
she sold.
Take it over. Do it with something else. But yeah, so this may be a witch hunt to get a jerk off the panel, and I kind of think that might be it.
Jerk off the panel.
Not to jerk off the panel, to get a jerk off the panel. How much to jerk off the NBA panel? Who's in? $5 million. All of them, there's some good names up there. Jeannie Buss. I mean, you got a couple of decent ones on that thing.
Do you think that could have been the case with Gruden?
If somebody was after Gruden, I think that's a hunt, too. I think somebody had it in for Gruden to release.
For sure.
That.
Did you go with Frank that one time when he, for Hard Knocks? Did you go with him that day and met? Gruden was a great guy,
incredible.
Right?
The one thing that I noticed about Gruden was he was hyper aware that I wasn't talking to anybody while Frank and Derek Carr and Mike Mayock were having a conversation. And John Gruden and I were on the outside of that conversation, and we're just standing there quietly. And he just looks at me and broke the silence. And, what do you do, man? Of course, I had to answer back as Gruden, because when he's looking at you can't help but make the face. I'm like, I do radio, man. Yeah? What do you do? Frank and I do a podcast, man. And then he goes,
you're a focus of it.
God's honest truth. You do voices or anything, man?
Yeah, you didn't even know.
No, man. Kind of the straight man around here. Knock wood if you're with me, Grudes. But I thought it was an endearing. You want some food? You want me to grab you something? He was a gracious, very genuine, gracious person. Doesn't mean everything he's ever done has been nice. But to a stranger who he didn't need to take any time out, while he was at work, we were down there hanging out at that team meeting, and when it was over, he said, we got food like crazy, man. Grab something. Want me to make you something? And I'm like, no, I'm all right. Thank you, though. He was way
you hear that
out of his way kind.
About people sometimes like, oh, he's a great guy. He's a good friend. Never want to work for him.
Right. Well, Gruden was...
he's a great guy. Hate playing.
I don't know. John Gruden walked away. That bald guy was driving me crazy. I hated him. I don't know. He was super nice. My experience with him was warm and inviting. That's it.
Right.
And I don't know if that means it's because it seemed like he was...
It didn't have to be.
And we're all goofing around joking. And I'm a stranger to this. They just know that... And Frank was making fun of Mike Glennon's neck, and we were goofing on the way people looked, and it was funny. Because and in front of him, he did a big stand-up thing for him when I was down there helping him out, and it was great. Then the Gruden thing happened. He was just very nice to me. But it doesn't mean just because my experience was positive doesn't mean he wasn't horrible. It doesn't mean anything. But I did not get a vibe of wow, this guy makes the room uncomfortable. It was the opposite. He made it very comfortable for somebody who was never in there before. I don't know. Seemed like he kind of got it. You know, those people that are endearing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that was very nice of you. You didn't have to do that. That kind of thing. Multiple times. To multiple people, not just me. What do you do, man? Radio, man. And he tolerated the fact that even when Derek Carr talked to him, and they know each other well. Hey, Derek. Carr would look at him like, yeah, what's up, coach? And his eye would go. You're like, oh, my God. Everybody Gruden's the Gruden. And I met his son, Deuce, the bodybuilder. Like 5'1", 300 pounds of muscle. So, yeah, I didn't have a bad experience. It doesn't mean he's a good person. Doesn't mean he's a bad person. I just had a positive experience. Everything's relative to your experience. What's toxic to Brett is maybe not toxic to me. So what is a toxic work environment by definition? You don't know. It's relative to the person. I've been in a toxic work environment basically because I was unhappy there. So everything that happened made me feel worse. I was in a situation mentally where I hated going to work.
Right, you spin everything else.
And so everything, yeah, because I was looking for bad.
Yep.
I wasn't happy.
And you found
there.
it.
And I found loads of it.
Yeah,
When you look, you'll find it. And I'm happy there. And everything that was happening, like, oh, another hurdle. I didn't want to work there. Hence, I did not work well there. Was it toxic? For me, absolutely. For other people, they probably have the time of their life. It's probably the same here. It's probably toxic for some people in this building, and others love it. I love it here. I don't know. It's crazy. But I just don't like hanging people on he said, she said. I don't like saying, you've got to go because we didn't like what you said 10 years ago, and you've been bad since. You've done some dumb stuff. But, boy, that sets a precedent that we can't live up to. None of us can. But I think Doug Hopkins just texted me, said, I think Sarver survives this. I think if another news story breaks, it will. Because I don't think ESPN's got much. They're pinning their hopes on this being a big deal, and I don't think it's much. We'll see. Who knows? What's on the big board of musical treats? I already know what I've got in the system.
Yeah, well, Wake Up Song brought to you guys by our buddies over there at Action Ride Shop. Hitting the trails this weekend. Make sure you get that bike serviced. All right, the best wrenches in town over there at Gilbert Road and Southern. Check them out online at actionrideshop.com as well as on Facebook and Instagram and all the other fun stuff. And, we kind of know where we're going with this one. I mean, we did take suggestions. Steel Panther, Nine Inch Nails, Drain, Clutch, Slayer, the Biscuits on there. But I'm thinking we got the new Slipknot in.
Heck yeah.
Came in last night. So Chapeltown Rag.
Don't know anything about it, but if you're the type of person that can't hear Slipknot songs without lighting a fire, I'm going to ask you to turn it off because that's so metal pussy. Dude, you're just being a baby. Sometimes the music gets you and you light a big bonfire. Don't understand it, but I guess that lives in some people's brains. That's a toxic work environment to me. A guy who can't hear a song without lighting something on fire.
Yeah. Pulling over, man. Barbecue.
Dude, I got to light this car on fire. This song rocks. I don't know what Chapeltown Rag sounds like yet. We're going to find out together.
Guy says,
brand new Slipknot.
John, I'm glad you brought up the toxic environment.
Yeah.
You realize every morning there's a toxic listening environment.
Oh, yeah.
That's just waiting to happen. Brady, you say a dad joke, and I'm complaining to HR. I don't know who I talk to, but I'm going there.
That's my tolerance for a toxic work environment is unfunny nonsense. That's laughed at by Brett. And then Brady's like, yeah, that's good stuff. No, it's not. It's
sirloin of beef.
No, don't bring it back. Now, this stuff, people having strokes on the air, this is great stuff. When you have one of these going for you.
Northport Point, Florida chief, the police of chief there, the chief of police. Wow. Here we go. It's totally toxic now.
Totally toxic, and you did it to yourself.
Yeah.
What's toxic is your blood flow into your heart and into your brain and your neurons. That's what you got to get checked out. Don't worry about us making fun of it.
That's not toxic. That's restricted.
Actually, what we're doing is helping you. We're helping.
Exclusive scenes from Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction.
Sorry, I'm just going to. The best part is Brett's reaction.
I think that was Marcus.
Was that Marcus that wooed it?
I don't remember.
I'm not sure. One of you.
We were all worried.
No, it had to be Brett. I can't imagine Marcus making that sound ever.
The reason we do that, Brady, is because we love you.
That's the only time Marcus smiles.
What do you mean?
To watch on that. Yeah, that's why I think it was him on the woo.
He smiles a lot. But, you notice it when you're having a stroke.
He does.
And because we care about you, we point these things out. So when you do die of a stroke, we'll be like, we tried to tell him. It's relieving our guilt, and our conscience can live with ourselves. We're like, we didn't. It wasn't for a lack of trying. I don't know what this one is, but I have to play it now because the
Labalanche.
Oh, Labalanche. That was the Labalanche. I like the word Labalanche.
Comedy gold.
It was comedy gold. You know how you know you well.
Go ahead.
Never say you are comedy. Never listen to yourself and go,
Comedy gold.
you're the worst person alive.
That was funny when I did that. I mined a little comedy gold.
That's what Robert Sarver would say. I am funny. I killed it just then. Anyway, Chapeltown Rag, Slipknot's latest. I have no idea what did you preview it at all?
I've not.
Nothing. Let's
It's
find
Slipknot.
out.
Come on.
It's going to be something good. We kind of like them.
Newspaper in the town.
That's
It's
right.
heavy.
Yeah.
It's that Chapeltown Rag. We'll find out if it's any good or not. It's Slipknot. It's your wake-up song. It's 98.
Pathetic.
98.
That's it. That's bonkers!
You've been listening to Holmberg's Morning Sickness Podcast, brought to you by our friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Eric'sFamilyBBQ.com.